Hello, it's Cthulhu again. Today we're going to talk about multiclassing, which is a situation in which you would take another class in addition to your base class. So for example, if you're a wizard and you want to maybe do some physical attacks and be less, squishy, I guess, have a little more HP, more of an armor class, you might multiclass in a fighter, for example. You might multi-class in Barbarian, though I do not suggest that because that's kind of maybe a bit too far. Maybe Ranger, so you have a little more of a reflex save. But I think the most important thing I need to cover in this video is how it's done, because I didn't understand it for a very long time. There's not as much information on it in the books as you might think. And it's in there, but it's kind of vague and hard to find, so I'm just going to outline it. Basically what happens is, when you level up, you can, at any level, choose to take on another class. Now, the first question that comes up is, if I level up to 3 in my wizard, if I'm leveling up to 3 in my wizard class, and I want to level up to 2 in my fighter class, what amount of experience do I use? Do I use the amount it would take to level up to 2, or would I use the amount it would take to level up to 3? Well, both answers are incorrect. Actually, you would take both of the classes' levels and you'd put them together. So you'd be leveling up to 5, so you would need the amount of experience you would need to get to level 5, which is 10,000 experience points. So again, you would not take the amount of experience it would take to level up one class. You would take the amount of experience it would take to level up your character as a whole. And if you have 2 levels in wizard, or 3 levels in wizard and 2 levels in fighter, you're level 5, and you have to, take that into consideration. The next most important thing is stuff like base attack bonus, skill modifiers, save modifiers. Forget I said skill modifiers, that's unimportant. Skill points, whatever amount of skill points you get at that class. And the way that works is, with base attack bonus, you would add it to the current base attack bonus you have. So let's say you have a +1 as the wizard. I'm pulling out a number right now, I don't actually have it memorized. And let's say you've advanced to +2 with your fighter, and you just add that up to 3. Base saves are exactly the same. You take the base save for whatever class you're leveling in, or sorry, whatever class in which you were leveling, and whatever, let's say it says +1 and you've already got +2, it would just be +3. Let's say you're at a higher level, it's +5 and you're gaining +3, you would get +8. What else? Hit points, you just add whatever hit dice, you add the hit dice of whatever class you are currently leveling. So let's say you're leveling your fighter, which I think is a D8 or a D10. Pretty sure it's a D10 actually. You'd add D10 to your hit points. And that's really all there is to know now. I just want to talk about... Oh, sorry, my back is killing me. I think it's a stupid chair. I'm going to talk a bit about what classes go well together, and I'm going to talk about prestige classes. Classes that go well together. A lot of the time people like to multi-class to make up a difference somewhere. So let's say you're a wizard, you're obviously weak at fighting, they might add fighter. I don't do that because I think it's kind of dumb. Again, you're trying to make the most powerful character, but if you add maybe 1 level of fighter to boost your hit points a bit, that's fine, Now if I was a wizard, I would multi-class in another spellcasting class. I would go with maybe or even maybe, like if I was a druid, I'd go with a ranger, because they kind of go hand in hand. Rangers protect the forest, druids know it, blah, 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 blah. If I was a barbarian, I might multi-class in fighter to get some of the customizability. Barbarians are pretty set, but instead of class abilities, as I mentioned before, fighters just get bonus feats, so they basically build their fighter the way they want it. So you might add that to make your barbarian a little more customized instead of just a rushing in brute. Sometimes I like to combine maybe fighter and ranger, because rangers have a lot of dexterity. I mean, you can build a fighter that way, but you can't match it to the crazy amount of dexterity and quickness a ranger has. Now prestige classes. Now, what a prestige class is basically just what it sounds like. You get good with certain aspects of maybe magic or fighting or whatever you might be specializing in with your class. And you gain an ability to get maybe a little better with that particular thing, and you can take on a prestige class, which are on page 176 of the monster manual of the Dungeon Master's Guide, as well as just about every supplemental book has prestige classes in it. I have quite a few at my disposal. You know, you saw my You saw my book collection last week, and by the way, I apologize, this video is a little bit late. I wanted to have it the day after I did my book collection, but some stuff came up, but you know, no big deal, nobody's watching anyway. These are prestige classes. You can see the neat pictures, and what they are, I'll read it for you right out of the book. Prestige classes offer a new form of multiclassing. Unlike basic classes found in the player's handbook, characters must meet requirements before they can take their first level of a prestige class. The rules for level advancement, see page 58 of the player's handbook. Well, we already know that. Let's skip over that. Let's talk about some examples. For example, I didn't need to say that because that was repetitive, but that's not the point. Arcane Archer. This one's my favorite because I always play a ranger, as I mentioned before, and this adds a little magic edge, but the requirements include, and it's not just going to be like certain skills, it's also going to be some maybe other things. Like for example, you need to be an elf or a half-elf. You need a basic attack bonus of at least +6, so you're going, I think, level 5 or 6 if you're going to go from a ranger to this. You need feats. You need point-blank shot, precision shot, and weapon focus on a longbow or short bow. And if you're playing a ranger, you're going to have that. It's no big deal. Now, another thing is you need the ability to cast level 1 arcane spells. You can, I didn't mention this before, you can multi-class in up to 3 classes. And I believe it's 3. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I'm almost 100% sure it's 3. So what I would do with this, for example, is once I get my base attack bonus to +6 and I get those feats, I might maybe multi-class in Wizard, get a first level Wizard, because then I have first level arcane spells, and then after that maybe multi-class in my prestige class. The Wizard spell will just be there as a catalyst to give me the extra spells I need. But some of these are actually quite difficult to attain, some are a little easier. But let's see what else we got. The Arcane Trickster. You need to be non-lawful, that's alignment stuff. You need Decipher Script 7 ranks, so you need to be at least level 4 to get this, because the max skills is your level +3. Max skill ranks. Max skill ranks is your level +3. You need Disable Device, Escape Artist, and Knowledge Arcana. So really, it seems like your best bet here might be a rogue, and just get those extra knowledges you need. Spells. Ability to cast Mage Hand. Oh, maybe not. Nope. Arcane spell level of 3rd or higher. Never mind. Forget what I said about the rogue. You need to be a wizard to do this one. Or a sorcerer. You know, I don't discriminate. Archmage. Archmage maybe. Assassin. This is one of my favorites actually. An assassin, you definitely do come from being a rogue for an assassin. I know that. The other 2 I mentioned, one I always play, but there's some stuff I didn't know about it. But the second one I mentioned, I know nothing about. I've never been an Arcane Trickster. I played an assassin, but it's actually hard to find a DM who will allow you to be an assassin because you have to be evil. It's an absolute requirement. Disguise 4 ranks, hide 8 ranks. So here you need to be at least level 5 because you need to be able to have 8 ranks in these skills. And move silently 8 ranks. And special. This is another subdivision of requirements. It's special requirements. It's stuff you need to do that maybe would be something unique, something different. In this case, you have to kill someone. The character must kill someone for no other reason other than to join the assassins. That's why you got to be evil. You got to kill just to get into their group. Blackguard is a evil paladin. Let's check his requirements actually. Blackguard. I always say blackguard. I don't know why. Have to be evil. That's a given. You need at least +6 base attack bonus. You need 5 ranks in hide and 2 ranks in knowledge religion. So I'd imagine somewhere on level 4 or 5 you might be able to attain this class. Special. The character must have made peaceful contact with an evil outsider who was summoned by him or someone else. So basically you got to make friends with an outsider. At the end I'll do a short glossary. I'll tell you what some of these terms mean. Outsider, for example. Let's see. Dragon Disciple. Actually, I'll show you the picture of this when you get a better idea of what it is. It's that winged fellow there. Not fellow, that's a woman actually. Who cares? Requirements. You can't be a dragon. You cannot already be a half-dragon. Half-dragon is a playable race if the DM allows it because it's from the monster manual and it is kind of challenging to put together and way overpowered. You need the language of Draconic. You need 8 levels, 8 ranks in Knowledge Arcana, which means, again, you got to be level 5 before you can do this. You need spell casting. You need to be able to cast arcane spells without preparation, which means you got to be a sorcerer. Let's see. Special. The player chooses a dragon variety when taking the first level in this prestige class, subject to the DM's approval. And that's another thing I want to mention. Everything is subject to the DM's approval. But more prestige classes can be found in other books. Libris Mortis. Actually, why don't we look at some that are available in this one? If I can. Oh, I turned right to it. I don't know what a Dirgenser is. Well, why don't we read? That's what reading's for, to find things out. Dirgensers voice melodies not of celebration and joy, but of sorrow and grief. I already like this one. No, this, I guess it's a caster that it's like a bard, but you know, darker. You can't. One of the requirements is you can't be good. You need knowledge, religion. You need perform, and you have to be at least level 5. And you need to be a bard. You need a bardic music class. So, and this one has to do with death. For example, Master of Radiance, pure undiluted power of the sun. I don't know what that has to do with the undead, but okay. Pale Master. There's one in particular I actually opened this book for. True Necromancer. You can be a wizard and specialize in necromancy and get a lot of necromancy spells. As a true necromancer, though, it's just pure. It's all about using death magic. I like it, but you can't be good when you use it, which isn't a problem. You can be neutral, just as any non-good. But yeah, each book has prestige classes in it. The books are useful for both DM and player alike. DM just needs more books to use them. But that's basically how multiclassing works. You can look into books. You can get them on. You can download them on torrents, but I'm not gonna condone that because that's stealing. But seriously though, these books, there's something to own. So if you want one, buy it. They're on Amazon. They're cheap. They're like between $11 and $20 for most of them. So when I bought them, they were $35, $40, maybe even $50 each. And they're old. Mine are old, and they are very durable. You can look at the condition this one is in. This is one of the first books I ever bought. My player's guide's a little roughed up, but it was paperback. So what do you want? But that's multiclassing. If you have any questions, just leave me a message or a comment, and I'll do my best to get an answer to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. This has been Dark Lord Cthulhu.